This is the time of year when many high school students are in the final push to make their post-high school announcements, and it's often the first time in a student's life where they're in the driver's seat to make some big, life-changing decisions.
I remember it well. That was a long time ago. Dr. Ellen Astrachan-Fletcher joins us now to discuss how to manage stress and anxiety during college decision season. Okay, Ellen, let's just dive right into this. All right, for parents watching, what are some of the signs that your child might be having some issues?
Absolutely. And by the way, thank you for having me. And that's a great question. So signs that you might see: sleep disturbance, that's going to be one of the first things. You might see behavior changes. You might notice more irritability, more isolation, not eating so much, things like that.
What can parents do? I know the first thing is probably, are you okay? What can I do? What can I do? You want to be there, but not suffocate them.
Is it okay to ask if they're okay?
Yeah.
Sometimes they don't like to be asked.
Well,
that's true. That's
absolutely. It is okay to ask if you're okay and if there's anything I can do to help, right? Keep in mind, though, during this time, parents can sometimes contribute to the distress, right? What if the child doesn't agree with what the parent wants? What if, the parent wants them to go to their old school and the child doesn't want that? Or what if the child doesn't want to go to college at all? Right?
That's true.
Or what if they don't get into the most prestigious school? All of those things contribute, both for the parents as well as for the adolescent.
And you forget that, at that age, you just feel like these are either life,
alternate.
Your whole life depends on whether you get into the school or not. Of course, now, with the benefit of hindsight, we know that, really kind of isn't as big of a deal as we make it. So what are some of the tips that, you can give parents?
Honestly, I think you just said it. It's putting it in perspective, right? It's helping not only the adolescency, but the parency as well. This is one of a million crucial choices this person is going to have to make in their lifetime. And guess what? They're crucial. It's life-changing, and there's not a right or wrong answer. And there's always going to be different paths. There are multiple ways you can approach this, right? People get anxious when they're like, there's one right answer and I have to figure out what it is. Whatever you choose is the right one in that moment.
Now, on that note, how does a parent let their child make their own decisions? Because this is really that crossroad where, they have to make their own decision, whatever they decide to do, whether it's going to the military or take an apprenticeship or choose a college. So how do parents let them make that call?
Right. I think the first thing is recognizing that your child is not a child anymore. And that they're growing up, right? And they need to find their path that's going to lead to their happiness. And when parents push their path or their chosen path on their child, they might do it, but it usually causes psychological difficulty.
Right.
Oh, wow.
That's true.
Well, you're talking about looking for extra signs of irritability and extra signs of stress, but it's already, young adulthood is so stressful.
It is.
Your hormones, your emotions, all of these decision-making where you do feel like it's life-altering. How do you know if it's an abnormal amount, I guess?
I mean, really, I think it comes down to the impact it has on daily functioning. Is that person having trouble getting out of bed to the point that they're missing school now? Are they really having difficulties eating? Are they really isolating? Is it really getting in the way of their ability to function? And the beautiful thing is, if you're wondering, you're not sure, anybody can call Pathlight Behavioral Health Centers at any time and get a free clinical assessment from a fully licensed clinician.
Has social media made it more stressful?
Absolutely, because people can keep tabs on each other, and it only enhances the competition. Right? So, this person got into the school that I wanted and I didn't. That's going to have a huge impact on me.
Right. So maybe limit a little bit of that time too.
Absolutely. Limit that. Limit caffeine. No energy drinks. No coffee.
That's true.
I was just about to ask about Red Bull and Celsius and all of those things.
No.
Right.
To the best of your ability, that's only going to enhance that feeling of anxiety.
And I'm assuming that once they do call and go through the questionnaire, I mean, can you tell us some of maybe some of the general questions that they might be asked?
They'd be asked questions about how are you sleeping? How are you eating? What's going on with you? Are you, in any way doing anything that's difficult, that's harmful to you,
Yeah.
right? Harmful behaviors, things like that.
And I'm assuming sometimes that involves also, like you said, talking to the parents. So
Oh, absolutely.
Right, right.
Yes.
And about their
Parents
behavior.
are absolutely involved in
Sure.
the treatment and the recovery.
And
yes.
they're not alone. The parent and the student,
They're
so
not
many
alone.
others,
Yeah.
millions of others are going through the same thing.
And one more thing, keep in mind during times of transition, especially like this, conflict is likely to increase.
Yeah.
It can help with separation, but if you don't realize that's why conflict is increasing, it can cause worse problems.
Thank you, Dr. Ellen. This is wonderful.
Yeah.
Everything is on your screen, Pathlight, pathlight.com.
Pathlight,
Behavioral Health Center,
yes.
and eatingrecoverycenter.com. Ellen, thank you so much for being with us.
Thank you
Really
for
Thank
having
you so
me.
much, Dr. Ellen.